Disturbed on Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Valdez and I are hanging out. Yesterday, it was trending. Missionary was trending. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
Now, the reason why Missionary was trending is not as hot as you would think. It's because Snoop Dogg announced his next album produced by Dr. Dre. It's kind of a big deal for old school 90s kids.
I'm excited now.
Yeah, exactly. They released a track list. It is called Missionary. They showed the album cover, which is that of a Snoop Dogg branded Magnum, because why not at this point? Snoop Dogg is literally selling everything. And I know that we're a rock station, so this news probably not huge breaking news to some of you out there. But this album's not coming out till like December 14th. So it's kind of smart. Okay. It's right before the Christmas time, and they're looking to try to sell as many copies as possible. I do somewhat have a leak, though, of Missionary. Like, the theme of the album seems pretty good. Yes. Now, the thing is, though, I would get in trouble for just playing a leak on the radio, right? It's a big no-no. But I would not get in trouble for attempting to recreate it live on the air.
Okay.
Yeah, and considering you look like Suge Knight and, Snoop Dogg owns Death Row Records, I feel like this would be the perfect opportunity to bust out my Snoop Dogg impression and try to perform the title track Missionary.
We are the Timu Death Row.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this is in honor of Mormon missionaries out there. So I was actually surprised how Mormon missionary-centric the title track is. It's really talking about missionaries in the hood. And I didn't even know Snoop Dogg was Mormon, but that is like basically the last market he has targeted to try to sell his gin and juice drinks to. So without further ado, Rap GPT likes to present to you Missionary. Oh, yeah. It's the West Coast rhythm. We've been taking it door to door with a little twist to the mission. They walk the streets, suited up, prime and proper. Preach a peace like a showstopper. I see two cats rolling up on the bikes, dressed to impress, got the shine, no spikes. Got the book in hands like they're spreading the word. But on the low, they're breaking hearts in the verbs. Saying peace be with you, man, we're here to connect. But the ladies be thinking, man, they got that respect. Polished shoes, fresh ties, missionary swag. Making the neighbors assume, and the moms in the drag. They put in the work, got the missionary hustle. Knocking doors, spreading love without a tussle, spinning the words to heaven like the sound. But the ladies see something when the boys come around, round, round, round. West up, west down, round, 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 round. Ready for the missionary sounds? They say, ma'am, we're here to bring light to dark, but they're leaving a spark and breaking some hearts. The whole block know them, they got no cash, just spreading good vibes when they splash the flash. One sister stops, all eyes on his tie. She says, hey, you seem heavenly, tell me why. He replies with a grin, it's the work that I do. She laughs, boy, I might join up with you. They put in work, got the missionary hustle. Knocking doors, spreading love without a tussle. Spinning tales of heaven, get lost in the sound. But the ladies see something when the boys come around. Round, round, putting it down. Round, round, what's up, west down. Round, round, putting it down. Look at that face you're making, Valdez. So fresh, so clean, preach a peace. Mess that up. Giving faith with the vibe so pristine. They keep it double G rated, keeping truth tight. But the way they roll up got the crowd feeling right. Alright. And when the day winds down, brings back the bikes. Two legends white disappear in the night. With a nod and a smile, they be gone in the wind. But they'll be back tomorrow, where it all begins. They leave a wake-up belief in a few winks too. Missionary work with a splash of cool. Next time they roll up, you already know. These slick young cats got the West Coast flow. They put in the work, got the missionary hustle. Knocking doors, spreading love without a tussle. Spinning tales of heaven, getting lost in the sound. But the ladies see something when these boys come around. They putting in work, got that missionary hustle. They putting in work, got that missionary hustle. Yeah, so spreading love and that West Coast style. Missionary swag, yeah, we make them smile. Preaching the truth where the love won't flare. But they put in that work, yeah, everywhere. So that's what Snoop Dogg will sound like in Missionary, right?
Damn.
Nah, it was not. That's what it's gonna sound like. Dr. Dre produced it, so put all credit to Dre, honestly. All right, that's your Rap GPT. Let's hit the reset and give away a pair of tickets for Dusk Music Festival. Those tickets will get you in both nights. The shirt looks good? that's your takeaway from this? Is that your shirt looks good? What's it say? I just like menudo, hot, corny.
With lots of panza.
Okay, so that's a real thing. That's how you like your menudo?
No, I'm just like menudo.
Oh, hot, corny with lots of panza. What's panza?
Panza is belly in Spanish.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right.
That's a Valdez original. I just made it last night.
Got it.
Look at you. Yeah, just printing up shirts nonstop. That empty chair next to Herb Stratford. First, please welcome Herb Stratford to the podcast broadcast. Welcome back. It's been a couple weeks.
It has. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you've been out. Last week, where were you again?
Last week, I was in Montana.
Right,
Yeah.
traveling to Montana for the film festival?
Yeah, for the last 2 weeks, I was seeing my dad, and then I was doing some advance work for the film festival in January. Yeah.
Nice, awesome. Well, the empty chair next to Herb is reserved for Yas Money, who's going to be joining us as well. Still hungover from the World Series because she's a Dodgers fan. And did you know that Rico was actually in New York?
I saw that.
Yeah, for Game 4 and Game 5. And
That Game 5 was nuts.
Yeah, and just like once in a lifetime opportunity to be able to see a game like that, World Series in New York at the legendary Yankee Stadium, but he was rooting for the wrong team, and it was heartbreaking at the same time. So I'm waiting to hear the report from Rico. Initially, we were like, oh, this would be a great idea. You go out there, you pop in, tell us what's going on in New York, but his schedule was effed from the very beginning, and it was go, 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 right? So I think he's sleeping right now. I did send him an invite. If he pops up on the stream, that'd be nice. If he doesn't, I totally understand, and we'll get a recap on Monday. But
The Rico recap.
The Rico
There you
recap.
go.
See, that's a whole nother segment idea. Look at you. Let me show you these pictures here. You guys didn't even know that. They're remaking, or Max, I should say. Can't say HBO, right?
Yeah, it's Max.
Yeah, Max is making a prequel to it, and it's a series. It's a 9-episode series. So basically like a 9-hour movie, and they just released some pictures here. Now, you don't get to see Pennywise, who is going to be played by Bill Skarsgård.
Yep.
What do you know about this, Herb?
Just that, it was something that I think they were hoping would happen, but they just didn't know until they got, until they had the second film come out, and then they were like,
Here, squeeze over into the middle. There you go.
And they're like, oh yeah, we can do this. And also, I think what's interesting about this is, so Dune Prophecy, which is the new series on Max that's based off of the Dune universe, right? That's another thing. So I think that Max is leaning into this. If we've got some IP that's a film, we actually can go a little deeper with our series, with our limited series. And so there's definitely a lot of buzz for this. I think, of course they want to release it around this time of year. So we're hoping that we'll get it next fall. But yeah, this is going to be exciting just because, everything is, all these things, it's sort of like comfort food, to be honest with you, right? You know, we've got the new season of Squid Game coming out the day after Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I won't tell you.
I'm excited about that.
I won't tell you that I already have episodes.
Oh, you're a fucking dick, dude. Yeah. So how many episodes were you able to screen?
So I have 4, but I've only watched 1 so far, and I think there's going to be 10, I think, or 8 or 10. So they haven't given all. And believe me, it's like super top secret now. Like the list of stuff you're not supposed to talk about. I shouldn't even be saying I'm watching anything. But
can you tell me at least this? Like good or bad? In that first episode, do you feel like you're kind of hooked? You're like they recaptured the magic that was the initial season?
Yeah. But I will say this: it drops you right in, and you have to go. Okay, who's that guy? Okay, wait, what happened? Oh, he was... Okay.
A lot of catch-up.
Yeah,
a lot of catch-up.
But it's on you, right? So,
Yeah.
You might want to watch the last episode, which I do sometimes anyway. But, yeah. So anyway, back to that. So, yeah, I think, Dune Prophecy, an It sort of prequel series. I mean, this is definitely where they're going to... John Wick, right?
Yeah.
All these things, they're really relying more on the freestanding films as the IP to develop off of, which is good for fans, but if you're not a fan, then you're left out in the cold because you're like, it's like Marvel, right? Like, how many things are you going to watch to get up to speed?
Right, yeah. So. Yeah, you can see that. But it is interesting to see that's where they're reinvesting their money, and it's almost like they know nostalgia is always money, right? But this is not even nostalgia. This is just like, this works, so we'll deep dive. But, is it Stephen King approved?
Well, that's what I don't know, and I need to dig a little bit deeper on it because, he's particular. He's, incredibly particular about his stuff. Like, he hated The Shining, and all those things, and he likes certain things. So I think on one hand you have to have his blessing, but at the same time, if he's not writing it, they're just sending him a check.
Right, yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I mean, I'm excited just because it was so well done, and I mean, it was so well cast, and so yeah, I'm excited about it. It's very good news.
All right, yeah. I'm excited that Bill Skarsgård is returning to do that, because if they would have had anyone else be Pennywise, it would immediately taken you out of it. I mean, like, okay, this is...
Well, and also the thing is, that poor guy, I mean, he's creepy.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you're not going to see him in a rom-com with Jennifer Aniston, right? It's just not going to happen, right? Rachel and the Pennywise, you know? So I think it's good. They're giving him some work, right? Which is nice.
Yeah.
So
I actually have the trailer for the new Squid Games season 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the reality show, which I did enjoy the reality show.
me as well.
Yeah. So let's see what Netflix came up with as far as this trailer. We'll go small screen so you'll see Herb and this, so that way we don't get too flagged. But let's see.
Smile.
이 자리에 오신 여러분을 진심으로 환영합니다.
Yeah, that guy's back. That's good.
Yeah. The winner.
여러분들은
야.
매 게임이 끝날 때마다 투표를 통해 그때까지 적립된 상금을 가지고 이곳을 나가실 수 있습니다.
저건 뭐야?
He's like, that's that bitch again.
뭐야?
너한테 벌이 안 줬어.
Oh, no.
다 움직였어.
Oh, damn. Yeah, well, that's just a little bit.
So look for this trailer and watch it on your own. But I will say it's super violent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It feels more violent than the first season. And
The first 30
You know?
seconds of the trailer, we see a girl's head, like brains get blown
Yeah.
out, dude. So yeah,
It's,
that's crazy.
It's interesting because, you know, when I initially heard about the second season, I'm like, okay, and, you know, like, what are you going to do, right? You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, and I can tell you from the trailer and, you know, whatever, you know, it's like they found a way in, right? And I think that's the whole thing is like, you know, okay, the way in is what's worse than playing Squid Game? Playing Squid Game when you know how Squid Game ends, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
nobody there knew. So here he is, he's back in it, and
Oh,
it's
let's get
like...
Rockwell 2.1 KFMA. We got Herb Stratford in studio. We're talking Squid Game Season 2, which we just watched a little bit of the trailer on our podcast broadcast, which we're live, youtube.com/bfegan. Continue your thought, though. What's different about this season, the first season, everyone goes in not knowing how the game works.
Yeah, they were all just desperate people, and they were being taken advantage of. And so, and I'm not speaking about anything this year that you cannot see already in the trailer. Just to be
Right.
clear, but that's the question: is how do you make this interesting again, right? And Korean TV is just like super hot button for Netflix right now. So they were going to come back and do more of this, and I think they actually announced 2 seasons. This is just the next one. You know what I mean? Like a 3rd season as
So
well.
it's like a trilogy series.
I think it is. Yeah,
I think it would be good if it stopped at 3 seasons. If they had a hard stop and a hard out.
Well,
Yeah.
because think about Stranger Things. Like, you're like, oh my God, really?
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
true.
So, I mean, so the trick, I think, here is to how do you make it interesting, and bringing back the winner is interesting because it's like why is he there? Right? You know, you've been there, you've done it. How horrific to watch all these other people not realize how serious this is.
Right.
So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It starts streaming on Netflix December 26th. So the perfect Christmas present to watch with your family.
Yeah.
Headshots and whatever else. Right?
Yeah, no, honestly, it makes me look forward to Christmas a little bit more. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot of things to cover. Yas Money's going to be in studio here in a little bit. Herb Stratford, of course, is here. And, of course, this weekend, there's some new releases that are coming out to theaters and at home on your streaming services. We're going to give you some of the highlights of what you should see and what you should avoid after music from Seether. Here's Judas Mine and Rock 102.1 KFMA. Join us, youtube.com/bevegan. It's the podcast broadcast. All right. So out of these, I'm like trying to look at these movies, and I'm like, I don't think I've heard of any of these.
Really?
You know, yeah.
Really?
I mean, which one is the big buzz?
Honora is the big buzz.
Okay.
And this is Sean Baker, who did Tangerine and The Florida Project, and you know who that director is, right?
You had me at sex worker as I'm reading the description.
So think about a Pretty Woman, right? With Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. But think of it more like now, right? In a different world. Think of it not on a Disney-owned channel, right? So think about an R-rated Pretty Woman. So basically the premise here is that Honora is a sex worker from Brooklyn. She's in Vegas. She ends up meeting this son of a Russian oligarch, and sort of they fall in love, and she gets married to this guy, and then his dad shows up, and he's like, oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, no, you did.
You did not
You made a
marry
whole
him.
housewife? It's basically what he's saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's upset about that.
And so, now it's like, what's going to happen, right? Because this girl's like, no, I got this guy, right? She's like, I don't care who you are. He's like, well, no, we're the Russian mob. So, yeah. So 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. It won the Golden Palm at Cannes this year, which is the best picture at Cannes.
Really?
So imagine that, right? So this is a big deal. But, again, how do you sell this to middle America about a sex worker marrying a Russian oligarch's son, right? I mean, it's a little bit of a challenge. But, very high marks. I'm very excited about this. Have not had a chance to see it yet, but very excited about it.
This is an interesting premise all the way through, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it could have been any normal, successful in-laws, and I don't think it would add to the layers of drama and suspense and danger.
Yeah.
And, having the Russian mob involved.
Yeah. And Sean Baker, who did...
I see it.
Red Rocket, yeah.
Red Rocket and The Florida Project, which I enjoy both those movies. Is it equally as uncomfortable? Because he's in the style, he shoots in the style of, I want to say, Harmony Korine. It's realistic, it's gritty, and it makes you at times feel uncomfortable, like you're eavesdropping when you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little more polished, but and people who don't know the work before the Florida Project, Tangerine was one of his second or third movie.
Yeah, about the prostitute?
About the prostitutes, and it was entirely filmed on an iPhone.
Yes.
And that was just jaw-dropping because you could not tell.
And that was a good show, too, or a good movie as well.
Yeah, no, he's definitely telling really interesting stories. He finds great people to cast. I mean, this woman who plays Honora, Mickey, whatever her name is, she's on fire right now. She's going to be the next big thing. So he's just he does a good job, and it's a Cinderella story.
Involving prostitution.
Yeah,
it's a feel-good movie.
I just realized I'm a massive fan of this director and all his work. I mean, I was dropping knowledge there, was I not?
You were. Very nice. And Red Rocket was so great. It was just, what's his name is so fabulous.
Yeah, Simon Rex.
Simon Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is going on with me today? I'm retaining information.
You're sharp today, sir.
I'm telling you, dude. Sometimes it's hit or miss. I just posted a reel not too long ago. I was recanting all the past presidents in order, right? And I don't know if you saw this to Mari, and I was dropping knowledge on her, and she's like, "I'm surprised you know all this." I'm like, "So am I." What's going on here? Saying all these years of actually reading, and I've retained things.
You're going to wake up in a cold sweat any minute.
Oh, man. I know. It's amazing. We're on 1 in 10 seconds, but this is being released in movie theaters everywhere, right?
It is, yes. This is, big release. But again, it's sort of it's an award release.
And it's an indie film, so you got to be a cinephile to enjoy it. Rock
yes.
102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on a podcast broadcast with film critic Herb Stratford. There we just talked about a movie release for hardcore movie fans called Honora, which it seems like a beautiful, very dramatic, cinematic masterpiece of sorts. It's being released for the critical season, right? The award season.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, this basically won the Golden Palm at Cannes, which is the best picture at the Cannes Film Festival back in May. So, I mean, they could have released it any time, right? But clearly they sat on it till the fall. This is Neon, who, of course, along with A24, are sort of the two darlings of distribution right now. They put out the most interesting films.
Yep.
And so, this one, 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's definitely going to, but it is an art house movie. So we'll see how it plays in Middle America.
What would be the, would you consider the Tom Hanks, Robin Wright movie a popcorn flick then?
Yeah, and I mean, that's definitely more of the mainstream. You've got Robert Zemeckis, who worked with those two, Robin and Tom, on Forrest Gump. Also, of course, the Zemeckis made the Castaway movie with Tom Hanks. So, anytime those guys get together, you're expecting greatness. This is sort of a gimmick, to be honest with you. This is sort of it's a fixed camera. So there's a camera that is basically sitting in the same place the entire movie, and the action sort of comes in and out of the camera's view, and it's over a long period of time. So, of course, the early buzz on this was, okay, they're going to have to de-age these two because they can't play young. And that's
Yeah.
what they did, right? But, you know, Zemeckis is, when you think about it, when Forrest Gump came out, everyone was like, holy crap, how did they do that? So he's on the forefront of this stuff, right? And technology looking good. He wouldn't have done this if it didn't make sense. But I will say the early reviews are not great. It's at 36% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's terrible.
not
And
good.
I'll tell you this. My takeaway initially is like, will the audience not, I mean, this modern day audience, would they be able to sit through 2 hours of the same camera angle, right? Basically watching a play. I don't think so. You know, we're too Michael Bay'd out. We're too many camera angles,
Blowing
filters,
smoke, yeah.
ADD, catch the attention here. What's that over there? That's the type of shooting and storytelling you have to do on a blockbuster scale.
Yeah.
So having this is kind of like an art house piece in a way. It's a conceptual, project.
It is, and I think with the talent attached, I think they were thinking mainstream attraction, right? So I'll tell you, if I know it's a little bit late because today's November 1st, but one of my all-time favorite sort of spooky movies is A Ghost Story. Okay, and Rooney Mara and what's his name? Casey Affleck.
Oh, yeah.
Just a most incredible movie. I just love this movie. And it also had a little bit of that sort of fixed camera because you were seeing sort of the same place over time. I feel like Zemeckis watched that and was like, oh, I can do this, and I'll call Tom and we'll make our own movie.
Right.
You know?
So then it's
watch
even a
Ghost
rip-off,
Story.
too.
Yeah,
so,
go watch A Ghost Story.
Yeah, and side note to Robin Wright news, she was on Late Night with Stephen Colbert, and he asked her if her iconic role, Jenny, if Jenny was the villain in Forrest Gump. And she somewhat admitted that, yeah, Jenny is
I
actually
hope
the
so.
villain.
I
Yeah,
hope
she
so.
said, think about how she treated Forrest. Not great. That's what her quote is. So that's the closest we're gonna get to Robin Wright admitting that she, was a villain. I mean, she only banged Forrest once, and it was after she had AIDS. So come on.
Well, and the thing is, she was sort of the villain in House of Cards after Spacey had to leave. So she does sort of play the ice cool villain woman very well.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of her. I think
Oh,
she's
yeah.
gorgeous, and her daughter's gorgeous as well. Look that up. But I love Forrest Gump, and I'm super mad at Jenny. You know, I think we've all been Jennied. Have you been
Jenny.
Jennied?
Oh,
Not minus
constantly.
the AIDS stuff, of course. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
leaving a kid for me to raise. Yeah,
Yeah.
minus that.
well,
Yeah.
no, I've been Jenny there.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You've been Jenny more than either Valdez or me.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
You should
Stop
just-
Jennying me, ladies.
You might have to change your name to Jenny. You've been Jenny so hard.
I know. All right. Well, let's keep this conversation moving on to podcast broadcasts. There, we're going to relive Valdez's top 5 spots to check out football and pair it with a nice meal and cold cocktail. We'll have more with Herb Stratford after music from Blind Melon. Keep it right here on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Jenny! All right, so yeah, we're going to reset the table. I did edit this clip together, and this is not the sped up version. Valdez, earlier this week, he's like, hey, should I put together content? And I'm like, well, what are you passionate about? I'm trying to figure out a niche for Valdez.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, put together like maybe a list of something that you're passionate about. And this guy, he goes out, he grew up here in Arizona, so he knows all the good spots to watch football on Sunday.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, and it's a combination of things, it's obviously TVs and, the environment, but food and cocktails. And so he put together this list that is not only like fascinating places, but what he orders when he's there and what he pairs it with as far as a drink and a shot.
Wow.
So this guy parties like a champ. And I was like, dude, I've been doing football wrong this entire time. Fascinating.
I can see that.
Yes.
I can see Valdez with a little a beret on, and he comes in, and
I mean, anything worth doing is worth doing drunkenly.
Yes. He's like, I pair that with, and, like super fancy. We call this Fatty's 5 favorite football spots in Tucson. So that was his name, not mine. I did not name that. But in case you missed it or didn't see the re-edit, it went like this. Check it out.
So Fatty's favorite football spots in Tucson. Number 5, the Wooden Nickel Tavern, right there on Country Club off of Aviation. They do have a teriyaki mango habanero wings that I always get, and I pair those with a Dos Equis and a Smirnoff Tamarindo shot.
Very nice.
At number 4, we go to South Tucson, Cafe Santa Rosa, in the area of South 6th and 36th Avenue. This place is cool because it's like Rusty's is split in half. There's like a restaurant side, so like you won't be bothered by all the drunkards watching the game, and there's a bar side with all the TVs, I get the fry bread burger. So what that is they don't use a bun, they use fry bread, and they put your burger patties in there with all the fixins.
Shut up and take my money.
And it's traditional. It's great fry bread. I love it so hard. And I'll pair that with the Modelo and a Jameson orange shot. Number 3, I found out about this place doing a Monday Night Football. Famous Sam's on La Troy and River. And I go there because I know you all probably hate me already. It's the Cowboys bar. So I can go there comfortably and watch us lose. So that one, I always get the lemon pepper wings, and I pair that with Coors Light and a Jameson orange shot. Now, the other place isn't local. It's kind of like a chain, but I still love it so hard. Ojos Locos, right off of I-19 in Irvington. Food is actually really good. I like the nachos because they're like mini tostadas, and you can do a mix. I get barbacoa and carne asada. Oh, and I'll pair that with the ice cold Dos Equis and a Smirnoff Tamarindo shot.
Now, you like them on Sunday, but isn't Friday night their lingerie night?
It is. They wear black lingerie on Friday nights, and it's hard to concentrate on anything.
Yeah, emphasis on hard. Okay.
And they have so many TVs and like every sport ever. Number 1, this is no surprise to anybody who knows Fatty. Rusty's on Grant and Silverbell. Great place. Again, they have like a restaurant side and a bar side, so all the families and normal people can eat in the restaurant, and then the degenerates, we could all go to the bar side. If I'm there for a game, I do pub grub. I'll do like the saloon burger with tots with the side of nacho cheese for dipping. And I usually get the beer of the month because they choose really good beer. And Stacy, the manager slash bartender, makes the best Vegas bombs. So if she's there, I always get one of her Vegas bombs.
I love it. And there you go. That's Fatty's 5 football spots. Pleasure and the privilege of giving away 2-day passes to the Dust Music Festival that's happening downtown Jacome Park on November 9th and the 10th. And I have my final pair of tickets to give away right now. Valdez,
Ooh.
I want to play a game.
Yes, please.
Yes. Ooh is not the response I was looking for, but that's all right. Let's meet our contestants here. On line 1, we got Keith. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning.
All right, line 2, we have Mason. Good morning, Mason.
Good morning, guys.
All right, now both of them are going to face off against each other in a round of the last word. Best 2 out of 3. It's our basically verbal hot potato game. I'm going to give you a category, start with one caller to give an answer. The other caller is going to give an answer back. You guys are going to go back and forth, giving acceptable answers. Whoever gets the last acceptable answer in before the 30-second timer runs out wins the round. Best 2 out of 3 rounds wins those tickets to Dusk Music Festival, November 9th and 10th at Jacome Plaza. You guys ready?
You hooligans.
Yep.
All right, you can stop saying hooligans now, Valdez. I know that's a fun word for you, but you're cut off from hooliganism. All right, here we go. 30 seconds on the clock will begin when I finish asking this question, starting off with line 1, Keith. Okay? Keith, name a place where people are most likely to forget to follow the rules. And go.
Bathroom.
The bathroom. Okay, yeah. I don't wash my hands for nothing. All right, Mason.
Airport.
Airport. Okay, Keith.
A concert.
Okay, Mason.
School.
School. Okay, Keith.
Work.
Yes, Mason.
The park.
Okay, Keith.
I would say a store.
Store. Okay, Mason. Oh,
Library.
Ran out of time. The library is a good answer, but unfortunately, just outside of the 30-second round. All right, so Keith has round 1. Mason, you're going to start off round 2. 30 seconds on the clock will begin when I finish asking this first question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, what's something you wouldn't want to find in your bathtub? Go.
A snake.
Snake. Okay, Keith.
Sewage.
Sewage. Yes. Mason.
Stranger.
Yes. Keith.
Bathtub. I would say cockroaches.
Cockroaches. Okay, Mason.
Hair.
Hair. Okay, Keith.
Spiders.
Okay, Mason. Oh, gosh, I wanted to get to the third round so much. All right.
Dang.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Keith got that last word in the second round, which means Keith will be our winner for Dust Music Festival.
I gotta say, Stranger was the best answer.
Yeah, stranger is the best answer to find in your bathtub. I mean, unattractive stranger would be a better answer. You know, if I'm going to a bathtub and an attractive stranger just pops up there, I'm like, oh, splish splash. I guess we're taking a bath.
Because we were on the same page. I was like, another dude. Like, that would have been, but he said
See, you assume maybe we're different like that. He says stranger. I was thinking something like Pamela Anderson in the '90s type of stranger. I'm optimistic though.
See, but you said what you would not want to find in the tub.
Oh, you're absolutely
See
right.
what I'm saying,
you got
bro?
me there. Yeah. So Valdez would be my number one answer on the board. Because there will be no more water left in that tub for me. Here, let's do this just for fun, because it is Friday, guys. Let's do a three-way version of the last word. Now, Keith, you won these tickets, but Mason, be a sport for me, and I'll hook you up with a 4-pack of tickets for the Celtic Music Festival, okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because that's going down here. So this will be the last category, and we're going three-way. So we'll start off with Keith, our winner, then it'll be Mason, then Valdez, and then going back, in that rotation, okay? All right, so, because I need to learn this. I want to hear what your answers are. Keith, on line one, here we go. What's something people usually only buy after a breakup? And go.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Oh, well, hold on a second. Are you the chick in this breakup? No, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
All right, Mason, what's something that people only buy after a breakup?
An adult toy.
Okay. You went from chocolate to adult toy. You're like, hold on, Keith. Let me one up you. I got you, bro. All right, Valdez. What? You gonna say lingerie?
Whiskey.
Oh, that's very manly. All right, Keith.
Hooker.
Okay, there you go, Mason.
Hard drugs.
Okay, Valdez.
Damn it, I was gonna say cocaine. Greasy food.
Okay, Keith.
I don't know.
Well, think about what dudes buy.
Rat pants.
Ran out of time. I'll tell you, the one answer off the top of my head was like a gym membership.
Oh, why?
I think people would do that after a breakup, right? They usually think they work on the outside and not the end. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Keith, you won those tickets for Dust Music Festival. Thank you for playing the last word. And Mason, stay on the line. You're going to get yourself a 4-pack of tickets for the Celtic Festival, which is going down this weekend at Rito Raceway Park, okay?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Nice. All right, there we go. We are back here live. And look at it. We got Yas Money in the building. This is the
Yeah.
first time that Yaz and Herb have been in the same building since Yaz was fired and said, "Don't tell Beef." And then this guy, being the good friend that he is, did not tell me. I had to find out weeks later.
Now you know Herb can keep secrets.
Yeah, no, I know.
She said, I'll tell him, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
I can be trusted.
She'll get around to it. I mean, honestly, she waited. What made you? Because it was a text message too, like, "Hey, I got to talk to you," and this was a couple weeks after the fact.
I had to cool down.
Okay.
I had to cool down.
And then you felt like the day that you text me, you're like, now's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Okay. Yeah. I felt that too. I was upset.
I had been running my mouth for so long, and then I was just like, you know what? It's time for Beef to hear what happened.
Yeah. And, it sucks. And media, you get this all the time. But Yaz bounces back quickly, and her favorite baseball team just won the World Series. So
let's go.
She's still. Are you hungover? Have you been celebrating every night since? I mean, this just happened 2 nights ago. So I felt like we were going to get you in early because I'm like, it's not like they won the World Series last night, but you have a 48 hangover?
Well, no, I wanted to give Rico his peace.
Yeah.
I want to give him some time.
I haven't heard from him since. I mean, honestly.
Respectfully.
Yeah, no, I think we're dead to him at this current time.
Listen, man, it was tough.
Yes.
That was tough.
I know.
And then it had to be Verdugo who struck out at the end, hometown hero, because he's from here. So it's just like.
Yeah.
He's from Tucson, huh? Rock 102.1 KFA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Yas Money's joining us in studio as well as Valdez and film critic Herb Stratford. So, recap that final game because, I basically just watched the Twitter highlights all through. So, I saw the 5 runs that the Yankees, started out with, and I saw the Dodgers come back in the 5th, poetically, and then ended up taking the game, winning Game 5 of the World Series with Rico and his mom just left there holding Cracker Jacks and tears, right? And he said it was fitting because the guy who got struck out last for the New York Yankees is from Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, Alex Verdugo. He's from Tucson.
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sitting at a bar by myself, and I'm seeing him coming up to bat, and I'm like, it just had to be Doogie. I was like, no way. He started his career as a Dodger.
Yeah.
Went to the Red Sox, and then now he ended up at the Yankees.
Tucson
So-
teach him.
Yeah. Is it?
And I was like, he's gonna do it on purpose.
Right, but isn't it weird that Tucson had their fingerprints all over this World Series? Not only with the
Yeah.
players, but of course that foul ball controversy.
Yeah.
From
Crazy.
Capobianco was a former U of A alum and Ice Cat. You know, so
Classy.
yeah,
Classy.
So Tucson
Ice
was
Cat.
mentioned several times
Yeah.
during this New York LA World Series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know who wasn't mentioned?
Me.
No, Phoenix. Phoenix wasn't mentioned.
That's
So,
right.
That's right.
That's a dub. You can call that a
What's
dub.
that?
I know. So that's pretty massive. So how long do you celebrate as a Dodgers fan them winning the World Series? When is the honeymoon over?
Till next October. I don't know what
You're gonna celebrate all off
Oh, we're
season?
gonna ride this out because when we won in 2020, everyone was like, "That didn't count." that
Yeah,
didn't
pandemic
count,
World Series.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, now what?
Everyone forgot about that already too, because they're just like, "Now we're too busy trying to like survive a pandemic." So
Yeah.
F you Dodgers. Now, we're post-pandemic, and maybe we'll remember this one for a couple days.
Oh, we're gonna remember this one about how we almost
So
swept. The
Does this take the
Yeah.
sting off of a wild card team sweeping you last season?
Oh yeah, you remember that?
I'm sorry, I got distracted by Valdez's microphone.
Yeah, he labels his own mic.
Oh my god! Look at him.
No,
He's a princess.
It's branding, baby.
Yeah. He takes a Sharpie to anything, throws Valdez on it, and all of a sudden it's branding. So you just see the walls in South Tucson. He branded the hell
I was
out
gonna
of
say
those
what
walls.
used to be
This is
called
his city.
tagging.
Right. All right. Well, obviously baseball's not going to be on, this weekend because the season is over. That means, movies and television shows to the rescue. Film critic Herb Stratford, of course, in studio. There's another project that you might be excited for us to check out this weekend.
Yeah, so this is called Conclave, and so it's in theaters this week, and then next week it's going to hit Netflix. The reason it's in theaters is because this is their big push this fall for awards glory.
Really?
Yeah, it stars Ray Fiennes as basically, so think Voldemort,
Yeah.
as one of the bishops. When the Catholic Church, people who don't know this, when the Catholic Church led by the Pope, when the Pope dies, all the bishops get together and they sort of pick who's going to be the next Pope, and that's a big process, very secretive. So this is sort of an idea of maybe what goes on inside that process and all the crazy stuff, and who doesn't want something known, who does, who's power hungry, So it's a little bit of a political intrigue inside the Catholic Church. Lots of secrets, and so big buzz on this one. Not approved by the Catholic Church.
Okay,
so,
that's good. Yeah.
So not that it's like some takedown, like about the sex scandal. This is about a process that's existed for hundreds and hundreds of years, and great cast. Stanley Tucci, I mean, all kinds of people. So yeah, there's a lot of buzz on this one. Look for Ray Fiennes to be in the hunt for Best Actor. 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It had a couple of screenings at some festivals, but basically this is an Academy Award qualifying run this week to be in theaters, and then it'll be on your Netflix, I think, on the 5th.
This is the new standard, right? Especially for Netflix as a studio, as they're, starting to create things where like, hey, this one's good enough that will actually bring home some gold. So doing the 1 week release and then immediately back to the couch.
Yeah.
We're going to see this a lot. What are some future projects that you know of that Netflix is producing and releasing?
They're keeping it pretty close to their vest about these things, because I mean, literally, like up until a couple of months ago, nobody knew when these things were going to drop, because I think they're waiting to see the calendar and what else is dropping opposite, right? And this is sort of a busy weekend, so. But you're right. I mean, this is, we saw this with Marriage Story. We saw it with Maestro. They do this where they have all this money. And I mean, honestly, I think the deals they make with the directors are, we want you to do this project. And the director says, okay, but
Yeah.
it's got to, like this Scorsese, right? I
Right.
mean, it's like you got to have a theatrical release, because I'm not going to do my work and have it just stream on TV.
Right.
Which I
Okay.
get, which I
yeah.
get.
The same thing happened with Joker 2, but different. which I think you can see on Max this weekend.
It
Am I
just
wrong?
dropped.
It
Already?
just
Really?
dropped.
It just
yes,
dropped. Yeah.
yes, because it flopped that hard.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That hard that, they're just like, you know what? There's no purpose to have this in the theaters. Just to yank it.
I didn't
Yeah.
get to watch it.
Well, you get to watch it on Max for free this weekend because nobody saw it in the movie theaters and nobody liked it except for one person, one notable person, Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino went on the record this week to say that he was a massive fan of Joker 2 and how it's somewhat of an FU to comic book fans. Now, did you see the movie, Herb? No,
I have not yet because I'm not a huge musical guy, so I'm like,
that surprises me. Yeah, you look like
Why do you do this?
But here's,
Yeah.
here's the
Her
thing.
face.
I'm gonna get it all. I just didn't get it.
We fight about this all the time.
It's
You're
true.
out here promoting things, and then I'm like, "Did you go?" And he's
Well,
like,
no, but
"I-
sometimes
I
it's
didn't
like,
go."
okay, sure, you can come to Phoenix, drive 2 hours each way to come see a movie that you may not be into. And I'm
Sounds
like,
old,
no,
doesn't he?
man.
He's just like, oh, that's too much time in my day.
I'll do it occasionally, but no, I did not. But I have so much content.
Okay,
Okay,
so
well, when Severance comes out, call me, okay?
You'd have to come to my house
Well,
to
yeah,
watch it
no,
with me.
me,
Okay,
you, your wife,
yeah.
kids, whatever, we'll
Yeah.
all get together.
All right, all right.
oh, look at you. You easing your way in, trying to be a throuple with Herb Stratford. Okay, I
If
see
it
you.
means seeing Severance 2.
It's worth it.
Is that
it's
all it
worth
takes,
it.
huh?
That's
all
all it
right.
takes.
Well,
Yeah.
I
You
got
the- you
I got
the
a-
Apple TV exclusives. Let me know.
I got a bootleg of Severance too. You can watch at my house
You don't
later
even know
tonight.
what that is.
Oh no, it's a bootleg. I got it at the swap meet. Well, let's go watch Severance 2 together. It's gonna be nice.
It's a no.
Oh, they'll do it with Herb and his wife to be a throuple, but not just a normal, twosome movie date. I get it. All right, let's keep this conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. There's a lot to get to that we, didn't get to through this week that we're going to cover with our panel. So you can join us, youtube.com/BeVegan, or keep it right here because we got music on the way from Korn on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah, it's the bootleg version, director's cut. So it's something you're not going to see in theaters.
Shut
in the old days, porn would have been on this. You know what I mean?
Oh, still will be, actually. It's
No,
a-
but I mean, remember, I don't know if you remember. I'm going to come clean and say I used to remember,
Yes.
in the video section, half the titles would be parodies, right?
Yes.
So it would be but just imagine if they were doing parodies of It.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like a porn parody of It. Like, where would the balloon be tied? I mean, come on.
Well,
Herb's been thinking about this one.
Yeah, no, that's called the old school Viagra right there. You know what I'm saying? You just tie a balloon to the end of it. Look, it's up. It's up. We're good to go. Let's do this.
Wait, Herb, is it the Tim Curry parody or would it be the new parody?
No, that'd be terrifying if it was your Tim Curry one. Yeah. But that's what we just added to the whole scene.
I love it.
So, yeah, I'm just saying, if porn was as active with the streamers, it would be a whole Game of Bones. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It might have
feel
happened.
like-
I don't know.
I feel like that's
Did it
still
happen?
going on.
Okay, I haven't been to a video
And yeah, in
store.
your video section.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. Okay, well,
Anyway.
speaking of
Because I always
porn
see-
parodies,
oh.
right? I do actually have a list of my top 10 favorite porn parodies of all time.
Oh, you're top 10.
Yeah.
Now,
so-
we did not work this out ahead
No.
of time.
No.
Just to be clear, this is
It's just something I have in my emails just to remind me if I'm bored of watching reruns of the challenge. All right, coming in number 10. This is a parody of Breaking Bad. The movie Breaking Bad was super good and cast actual meth heads. So, it was realistic. But Breaking Bad, a
It should've
10-part
been Breaking
series.
Backs.
Yeah, Breaking Backs would have been good too. You're a Doctor Who fan, right? No, you're a Doctor Who fan.
I like some of the doctors.
Okay. Well, you were going to love Dr. Woohoo because Dr. Woohoo not only still has the telephone booth, right?
Okay.
That's just, famous, but a lot of the
TARDIS,
scenes
yeah.
are filmed in the telephone booth, right?
Because it's bigger in the inside.
Yes, it is. So Dr. Woohoo's number 9 on my favorite porn parody list.
All right.
Also, number 8 is a classic. I'm a 90s kid. And look, I didn't like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Not a classic. But I did love the Christy Swanson version. Yeah, with Paul Rubin.
Absolutely.
And Luke Perry
Yep.
was in it.
Yep.
I mean, that was a classic. So, of course, I had to immediately rent when I laid my eyes upon Buffy the Vampire Layer. Because you had to.
Okay.
Same plot line, everything. You know what I mean? So they kept going. For you disco fans out there, don't forget to check out Saturday Night Beaver. The Hunger Games is a huge franchise. Unfortunately, Jennifer Lawrence is not in the Hung Games, but still, same premise. And it is a game. There's a competition. There's a winner at the end. and that winner's penis is huge. Now, on television shows...
He's going to win just by the tip.
Yeah, just by the tip. That's all he needs. It's a hung game. Television shows, I'm a big fan of like The Office and Parks and Recreation. So Parks and Erection was very good. Chris Pratt actually is in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He was taking every gig at that point. Now, sometimes I like to get a little serious with my porn. I like things that are basically award bait. Nothing got more serious and won more awards when Steven Spielberg actually tried to tackle the topic of the Holocaust.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so Schindler's Fist was actually surprisingly refreshing and educational at the same time.
Is that a real title?
Yes, Schindler's Fist. Number 4.
Google it, Herb.
Yeah, Google it.
will not.
And then click on images and nothing will go wrong.
I will not.
Right? Now, are you a big fan of Game of Thrones?
Sure.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and they've been doing House of the Dragon and everything else. Got spin-offs, Game of Moans. Not as good, but it's basically Game of Thrones because just the same amount of sex as season 1, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
a
we
lot
have
of
that.
incest, a
Yep.
lot of...
Yeah, exactly. Number 2, it goes without explanation. Lord of the G-Strings. That brown eye of Sauron was actually pretty offsetting, but it was still fun. The brown eye of Sauron. Brown eye, sir. Okay. And so number 1 is another Steven Spielberg classic, or at least a spinoff of. You heard of the T-Sex, Tyrannosaurus Sex? Well, Jurassic Pork. Jurassic Pork was a classic. It was actually one of the biggest blockbuster porns ever made back in the day when I worked at Video Update, and they had the porn thing. But the only difference in some of the scenes,
Damn, Video
remember
Update.
Yeah, Video Update was a great place. I worked there for a little bit. You remember the iconic scene where the T-Rex is walking up and you see like the cup of water like shake? They do the same thing, but with spooge. It's crazy. It's crazy. The special effects in Jurassic Pork makes it the number 1 porn parody film of all time.
Why did I come in this morning?
You love this. You love this. Honorable mention goes to the Triple X Files, Glazed and Confused, Honey, I Blew Everyone, and Missionary Impossible. So those are just a couple that you might want to add to the list if you saw the top 10. Top 10
Damn,
porn parodies.
You
yes.
did as much homework on that list as I did for my football picks of like restaurants.
I know. But I was a little quicker in delivering that. In other parody
Leave
news.
them alone.
Yes, in other parody news, all right, I shared this on my personal Facebook page. I don't know if you haven't seen this, and I haven't had time to share these images, but I fucking love them. So AI does a great job in reimagining scenarios. So someone asked AI, what would Seinfeld look like if they were modern day hipsters in Portland, Oregon?
I saw this one.
Yes. So here's Jerry. All
Very
right.
nice.
Here's George Costanza. Elaine. Looking like a smoke show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Kramer. These are almost spot on of what Seinfeld. There's Newman, who's an Amazon driver.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's another side of Newman, some more Jerry, and some more versions. Elaine. God, Elaine looks good. And Kramer's the only one that's not like spot on, but I would
So
date.
is everyone in Portland, do all the girls just like wear their hair like that then? Because every single picture, it's the same hairdo.
Yeah, well, according to AI,
Little ponytail.
AI has some weird visions of how they picture us. Now, I don't have pulled up what AI, just like shows what UK people think of America, right? So they did this. They basically did a survey and asked UK people to imagine what somebody from each state of the United States would look like, and then AI recreated this. And basically, spoiler alert, we're just all morbidly obese and disgusting, with the exception of Miami, we're all smoke shows, right? And Dallas, Texas, all Texas girls are super hot. But beyond that, everyone else in America is fat and ugly. That was the hipster version. And I apologize because I did get this wrong. The first one that I saw was Gen Z Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is actually the Portland version of Seinfeld. Are you ready for this one?
Yep.
All right, so this is
yeah.
Portland
Spot on.
Jerry.
You gotta have a beanie. Yep.
Got the beanie and the chest there. There's Portland Elaine
Okay.
with the nose ring, right?
All right.
There's Portland Newman with the man bun.
All right.
Sweating.
Nice.
Yep.
Vandalay Industries, yes.
Yep.
Very nice.
Portland Kramer.
Jesus.
Spot on. Looks like he's on fentanyl. Another one of George. Elaine again. Gosh. Fall in love with Portland Elaine. And there's Seinfeld. So, yeah, I shared that earlier when I saw because, how I would do that. But, yes, you're right, Lindsay. The UK AI did us dirty. Very dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that was almost enough to start a war.
Show it.
Those are fighting words.
Those are fighting words. I'd have to Google it. It would be a thing, a whole process. But
More than you looking up those.
Porn names?
Yeah.
See, I was just going to say that.
I was pretty quick, though. I was pretty quick.
Now
and
we know what
went
he's
into a
good
top.
at, looking up porn.
Look at okay. No, first off, I haven't looked at porn on my phone in 2 days.
Sir, I hadn't seen you click clack on that keyboard so fast. Like I saw you. You were like, I got this.
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah.
And I pulled it up. Boom,
Impressive,
done
impressive,
and done.
impressive.
Thank you. Yes, as I'm moving the content forward in a podcast.
So Yas Money, what you got to understand is he's in a weird zone today, and he's like pulling names out of the
happened?
ether, and like it's like
Oh, you're doing your job today.
Yeah.
You're working.
Yeah, and
Yes, girl.
I'm coming off like semi-intelligent with a decent memory. So ask me a question, a pop culture.
Are you on drugs?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Ask me like any kind of pop culture question. I might be able to answer it. It has to be pop culture though. That's like legitimately my forte. Because
that's his savant area.
What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the Menendez brothers?
I think they're guilty. Whatever. I saw this stupid. Now I know that they're talking about trying to get them released, but that's not going to happen. I did see this horrific story of a 15-year-old who got convicted of murdering his mom and brother when he was 15 years old. He was released after 30 years in prison because he's only 15. So he's 45 years old at this point. Gets released from prison. Now he's currently back in prison just after 4 months. After he murdered 2 more people and burned down their house. Yeah, so you can't change a leopard's spots. You know what I mean?
Okay, but this is my argument with the whole Menendez thing.
Okay.
Where do you put Gypsy Rose?
Who's Gypsy Rose?
The one whose mom had her in a wheelchair and then she had her mom killed and she was in the same room as her mom was being killed.
Maybe let her out.
She is out.
Okay.
And she's like living her best life.
Honestly,
Google Gypsy Rose.
Look.
I promise
with
it's
the
not a porn.
Menendez brothers, and I know there's a series on it, and they're gonna go through the allegations. What is sodomy involved? Something like that.
Yeah, there was some child abuse. Yes.
Yeah, there's some child abuse, right? Does it justify a double homicide? And does that give them a get out of murder free pass? I don't think so.
I mean, it's been 30 years.
Yeah, still a couple more years on top of that, because I don't want them to be released and be celebrities right away and get a bunch of money and then whatever.
That's what Gypsy Rose is going through. So it's just like they made all these shows and movies about her and the show, and then she came out free. She did all these interviews. Menendez is getting the same attention, only they're getting life.
You know what? Their prison set up. I think they're doing fine. I think it's a minimum security prison as well. So they got tennis.
It sounds.
If you got tennis, then you're not doing a hard time. Let's get on the air here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Let me ask you this question. What was the moment you realized you were dating an imbecile? Now, you're going to have to go way back in your kind of memory banks here, but I think we've all been in a situation where we're dating somebody, everything's great, and then all of a sudden they say something, you're like, oh my God, you're like super dumb. Now, I'm sure I've been on both sides of the coin. And so, but while you're thinking about this, I do have some examples that people actually recently went to, I think, Reddit on, talking about the moment they realized they were dating an actual imbecile. First, little comment here. He thought sweetened calories because the sugar dissolved, so it's not really there. So... yeah, if the sugar dissolves, no calories are there.
It's invisible.
Right. There was a woman who was dating a man, and they went to a theater audition, and their line was, I can't wait to go to Europe and maybe check out Prague. The city in question was Prague. So it's like dating Joey from Friends, right?
That's where they make ragu.
Yeah. Prague. Yes. Near the border of Wisconsin and Illinois, a town called Woodstock. Her boyfriend at the time was convinced that there was a music festival there and refused to believe her when she told him that it was in New York, right? So, let's see. My ex thought the Underground Railroad has to do with trains. Right? Let's see. One person wrote, I once dated a woman who refused to believe that people were animals. Mammals, right? And then one person dated somebody that pronounced the T in buffet.
Buffett?
Yeah, so an all-you-can-eat restaurant buffet.
Run by Jimmy.
You ever recall like dating an imbecile where you must have plenty of stories. I've seen the guys you date.
I don't date, but the one guy I did date, it was like a really inappropriate racist comment he made one time.
Ooh.
And
was he a
that's-
white dude?
No.
He's a
he
Mexican
was
dude?
Mexican, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Was he from Mexico?
No.
Because,
I
the
think he was
stereotype
like-
is
I think he was
Mexicans
like-
from Mexico can be pretty racist.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I think he was like second, third generation here.
Okay.
And then he said what he said, and I was like, what? Why would you say that out loud?
Right. Why would you think it?
Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you think that was okay to share with me?
Right. You're my racist friend, right? You'll get a kick out of this.
I was like, the fact that you felt comfortable to say that out loud around me, I was like, I don't even know what else would come out of your mouth.
Right. So how many more times did you sleep with him before you
I
decided enough was
didn't.
enough?
I didn't.
Oh, that was it? That was the
I
deal
gave
breaker?
him like the cold shoulder after that.
That's good.
And then he put his drinks on my tab too that same day, and
Damn, you let him get away?
it sounds like a dream. He was very nice to look at, but he was dumb.
Okay, yeah. Well, see, that's the moment that Yaz realized that she was dating someone dumb. What about you, Valdez? You got an example?
Oh my God. So I used to have like this decor in my kitchen that was all like Aztec and Chicano history and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she was brown, mind you. She looked at this picture of Pancho Villa and Zapata, and she's like, "Are those your uncles?" And I laughed because I thought she was effing with me.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
laughed, and she's like, "Isn't those like from old Tucson?" I was like, "No, that's Zapata and Pancho Villa." Like, oh, she's like, "Well, I went to Tucson High. They didn't teach us history." I'm like,
Oh, no.
what did they teach you?
Well, no. I mean, I
As
know
a
that's
Tucson High alum.
Yes. You know Pancho Villa? Did they teach you
Listen,
that?
listen. You don't really get taught about Pancho Villa. That's something your parents should teach you about.
Yeah. My parents didn't teach me about Pancho Villa.
Well, you're not Mexican.
That's
That's
true.
right.
That her family was super coconut.
They taught me.
They
See,
did.
that's the problem.
Taught me
They
about
did.
Al Capone and this.
They did crap like Taco Tuesdays and
Nah.
family pictures. You not family pictures. Let's all wear same colors. I'm like,
Oh,
no.
yeah,
All right. Well, if you have an example of the moment you realized that you were dating an imbecile, put it in the comments on our YouTube stream or give us a call 600-KFMA, 600-5362. We got a beef tip coming up after these words, but we're keeping the conversation moving. YouTube.com/beefvegan.
And we were together 5 years. That's the worst
Oh,
part.
my God.
So did
Yeah.
you teach her?
I taught her nothing.
You didn't even make her better.
Wow.
Right.
You didn't even mold her better.
I tried to teach her and it just didn't stick.
Here, somebody's calling.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's probably her.
Rock 1 2.1, who's this?
This is Tommy.
All right, Tommy, give me an example of when the moment you realized you were dating an imbecile.
My ex-wife, going down First Avenue, she thought LA Fitness was Law Fitness.
Yeah, love fitness.
And we
yeah.
got into an argument. She's like, why would it be LA? That's in California. I was like, ugh.
Is that the moment you
So,
realized it was doomed?
Yeah, Law Fitness it was.
Ah, he lost the battle. That's an excellent story there, Tommy. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it.
Right on, brother. Bye.
Bye. So, yeah, La Fitness.
In her defense, though, if you're supposed to like shorten something, you have to have periods there. So
Hola.
it's
Okay.
technically law fitness if you look at it grammatically.
Nerd.
I know.
This guy.
I
this-
know.
Backing her up.
Yeah.
Oh, but
yeah.
Pancho Villa was the line.
Right.
yeah.
But if your girl said La Fitness, you're like, that's cute. Patted her on the head.
Yeah, so what do you... Oh, we got another call. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Rock 1 2.1, who's this?
Hi, this is Leslie.
Leslie, when did you realize you were dating an imbecile?
When my ex told me that the cheese that I bought tasted bad, and I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, the red cheese, it's like really hard. It doesn't taste good. It was the mini Baby Bell cheese, and I was like, you peeled the wax off of it, right? He was like, what?
He sounds like he was a good-looking dude. Was he a good-looking dude?
No, he was like 5'2".
Oh no, not a short
He had
king.
lied to me. He told me that he was 5'7" online, and when I met him, he was like at my eyeballs, and I'm 5'4".
Report him.
No, you know what? In his defense, maybe he was dumb enough to believe he was 5'7".
Oh,
Maybe.
I love it. Thank you for the call. That's
red
awesome.
flag, red cheese, red flag.
Yeah, red cheese, red flag. Exactly. I love that call. I'm playing it back as soon as these commercials are over, okay?
Sure thing. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm like, oh, yeah. Don't eat that wax. The dumbest thing I did, and I've mentioned this on the air before, the first time I had edamame.
edamame.
Edamame,
Did
right?
you eat the whole thing?
Yeah, I was in Scottsdale. I was with my buddy and these Scottsdale girls. They're all like smoking hot. They're all dressed nice. I'm coming down
They're
from
gonna remember
Flagstaff,
you forever.
looking super homeless, right? And I'm at this, one of the nicest restaurants I've ever been to at that point. And yeah, they bust out the edamame, and of course I'm fat too. And I'm like, I'm gonna eat these, and I'm eating them, and they're so abrasive on my throat on the way down. It's hurting me so bad. And I'm just like, powering through because I don't want to be the weirdo being like, I don't like the shit you ordered. I'm like, and then after like 7 of them, I'm like, I don't know how you guys do this. And they're like, you in there with the
Wait,
show.
but if you didn't know what it was, why didn't you ask?
Because
It's embarrassing.
I'm in a
If I'm looking at
situation.
something I've never eaten before, I'm gonna be like, what is this?
I might have asked and they could have said edamame, and I'm like, cool. I got salt on the outside.
My friend
you
did
know?
the same thing, and I was like, Michael, what are you doing?
Right.
And he was like, is that not how you eat? No,
Yeah.
no.
So I feel like an imbecile. I'm like, what is that?
It's like the green pea pods, and then you eat the peas on the inside. It's actually a stupid meal.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
I'm
not.
not a fan. Hold on.
I
I
had-
realized
I
you
had
were
a-
dating an imbecile.
I had a guy.
When my ex told me that the cheese that I bought tasted bad, and I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, the red cheese, it's like really hard. It doesn't taste good. It was the mini Baby Bell cheese, and I was like, you peeled the wax off of it, right? And he's like, what?
He sounds like he was a good-looking dude. Was he a good-looking dude?
No, he was like 5'2".
Oh no, not a short
He had lied
king.
to me. He told me that he was 5'7" online, and when I met him, he was like at my eyeballs, and I'm 5'4".
Report him.
No, you know what? In his defense, maybe he was dumb enough to believe he was 5'7".
Oh,
Maybe.
I'll tell you what, though. Like, I said, is he a good-looking dude? And she said, no, he's 5'2". Like, so that nothing about his face and stuff, which sucks for the dudes who are short, man. You
no,
know?
I mean, even if you're tall, like my friend would be like, okay, Yasmin, is he cute or is he just tall?
Right.
And then I'd be like, oh, yeah, no, he's just tall.
Okay, so what is the height? I mean, Herb, what are you, 6'4"?
Yeah, I'm 6'4".
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Be impressed. Okay, so what is like if the guy's ugly, how tall does he need to be?
6'4".
6'4". The Herb. Yeah. You saying Herb Stratford's ugly?
No, you said that. I didn't say that. It just happened to be the same size that we were talking about.
Okay. So if he's good looking, how short can he be?
Oh, I'm 5'7", 5'7".
Okay, yeah. So it has to at least be your height.
Yeah.
Right.
He's
okay.
got to be okay
Okay.
with me wearing heels.
Right. Yeah.
That's
okay.
fair. That's fair.
It's fair for a tall guy, but I mean, I dated a 5'8" girl who liked to wear 6-inch stilettos, and I did feel like Lord Farquaad. Thanks, cowbunga dudes. So it was interesting too because the dynamic. It took me a minute to get over it, and I got over it. It was fine. We were in a relationship for some years, but when we were holding hands when she was wearing heels, my hand had to be up a little bit, so it immediately brought me back to when I was a child.
Yeah.
holding hands with my parents, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I did not like that. No. It's good to know. So I'm like 5'9.5", 5'10", right? Good looking enough though. Never mind. We'll get it. Yeah.
What? Were you talking to me?
No, I was talking to Herb.
Oh.
Yeah. So would we smash Herb? Yeah, thank you.
You want to smash her? What are we talking about?
Nothing, dude. Nothing. Let me ask you this question real quick. A recent poll asked this question. How many minutes will you wait for your food at a restaurant before you start becoming annoyed? There's an actual answer for this one. How many minutes?
Anything past 30.
Okay, you say so 30 minutes.
After a while, after we're done hee-heeing at the table, I got to be like, where's my food?
Right? What do you say, Herb?
I think 20.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, going with the under. Valdez?
Depends on the environment. If I'm the only one there and it's already been 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I'm like, what the hell?
You're going to punch
But
somebody in the face.
if it's like packed, then I give leeway.
All right. We're back on the air. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Just asked this question to our panel. How many minutes will you wait for your food before you get annoyed? There was a recent poll that asked this question, and the magic number, 29 minutes. All right?
Wow.
And that's for food delivery and things like that. So waiting for your server to take your order, 13 minutes before you start getting annoyed. That's what Americans will give you. Waiting for your food to arrive, 17 minutes. So if you add those up, that's 30 minutes, which Yas said. Waiting in line at a grocery store, over half of us switch to a different line if we see more than 3 people ahead of us. You do that? You kind of lane hop?
Yep.
I got to see how much they got in their basket.
I stopped doing that because every single time I would lane hop, I would get be like, oh, good, I'm right behind this only one person. Look, and they got 500 items. And I'm there for the next 3 days like, son of a bitch. All right, so I guess my beef tip to you is to be a little patient with your food or eat edamame with the shell before you.
Edamame.
All right, okay.
Say chilaquiles.
I was doing so well. But that's it. That's all the time we have for the show. So thank you guys so much for coming in. Thank you guys for listening. Subscribe to our YouTube. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and rock local. Later.
Sorry,
Go Dodgers.
Rico. Sorry, Rico.
We love you, Rico.
No, we don't. Go Dodgers.
Babuski.
all your teeth.